All right, we're doing a singing class, and Rick wanted us to kind of start with some basics about music in general, and not to turn this into music theory 101. I just wanted to give some basics here so that we're all on the same page of what we're doing when we're singing songs together. So with that, I'm going to, torture you all with some of my own drawings here. So I'm not an artist. Maybe y'all should draw for me. All right. So if you notice in your songbook, you've got these lines, right, that go across. And there's 5 on the top, and there's 5 on the bottom. All right, so that's what your music sort of looks like. The top, you have the treble clef, and it has this little interesting looking thing there. Right? And then the bottom, you have the bass cleft. Now, what all this means is that when we sing songs together, we're singing what's called 4-part harmony. And so you'll notice that in the register, there'll be notes, 2 notes here, and usually 2 notes there. And they have stems that they're quarter notes, and that's what those are. So these are all sung together at that time. And so now that I've subjected you to my drawings here, I'll show you others. But I just wanted you to see that's what all this is. That's just what it is. These are five lines here. Let me see. Oh, I want the whiteboard. Hang on. One second.
Well, I'll put it this way, I never looked at the bottom lines.
You ever look at the bottom lines? There we go. So typically what happens is right here, right? All that gets sung at the same time. And so typically the top note there, change the colors here. This top one there, that's usually the harmony, or usually the melody. I'm sorry, the melody is what that usually is. So for this, son of my soul, thou Savior dear, that's that top line. That's what generally everyone, most people sing that. And then you have these other 3 notes. This one is the alto line, and so some women sing the alto. Few men sing alto. I can't sing alto. And then you have down here the tenor line, which what I usually sing, and then the bass. And then I can hear Drew sing bass quite often. So that's what everyone is singing at those points. I only say that to say that when you hear people sing, you're going to hear them singing different notes at the same time, and that's why some are singing bass, some are singing tenor, alto, and soprano. And if you don't know anything about music, typically you're singing that melody line, that top line. Why that's important for us in a class setting is to think about is if you notice the pitch of the sound goes up or down based upon where it is in the line. All right, so these 3 notes are the same notes. So when I sing that, son of my, it's the same note being sung. And then it goes into that 4th note, son of my soul. Those are all the same notes. In singing class and that, they'll show you the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. You've heard that. You've seen Mary Poppins. You know what that is. We use what's called shape notes, and each shape represents one of those. So typically a triangle is do. So you see that it's a do, but you've noticed up here as well, it says do. And what that does is lets the song leader know that the song starts on that note. That's what the note starts with. Now, in this instance, when you have do, whatever the key of the song is in, that's what that first note is. So this is the key of F. So the song starts with an F, and notice there. And typically, the song always ends with that same note. So what helps me with my pitch pipe is I can hit an F. No. So I know that the song starts that way. No, son of my soul. Notice the note dips down, then dips up. Son of my soul, thou, and then a little bit up higher. Savior dear. If you don't know anything about music, just know that when it goes up, your voice goes up. When it goes down, your voice goes down. And that's probably the most basic way that I can put it. Drew may have more to say about that when he gets up here. But that's the thing that I want you to know is when the note goes down, you go down. When the notes go up, you go up with your tone. If you follow a song leader who has pitched the sound, then that helps us do that. For song leaders, if you're not comfortable with a pitch pipe, not comfortable doing it that way, the rule of thumb that I give typically is when it looks lower on the register here. So in this one, it's on the line. Think starting the note higher, because what happens is when we see it low like this, we want to start low, and what ends up happening is the song is going in the basement, and so someone starts, "Son of my soul," and then when you get down to those lower notes, then we can't sing because it's too low. So I always tell new song leaders, think higher. Very much like the Music Man. Think higher, think the notes. And when you see it higher on the register, then think a little lower, because then you don't want to get everyone into the attic. So we don't want to do that either. All right, questions so far?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Many questions. So for every song, you said like, what are the four again? Like the four notes? You said there's tenor, there's bass.
Yeah.
Like who's what? Like, or do you just go with what's your voice?
All right. So yeah, do you know where your voice is comfortable is what you usually go with? So I'm usually a tenor, because my voice is a little higher. But as I find I'm getting older, it's harder for me to sing the higher tenor notes, so I'm going down some of the bass. But the song leader is typically singing this. He's going to sing the soprano line, which is the melody line that gives the line. That's the sound that you usually hear when you're singing.
Answer this for me. I read something that said soprano is the high women's note, tenor is the high men's note. Is that true?
Yeah, because notice here, right, so when you're dividing the scale, right, the bass clef, there's the first note for the tenor. And notice how high that is on the scale, so right at the top line. Versus if there was a top line here, that's way up top. Right? So, yeah.
So women never sing tenor then?
I've known some women sing tenor. Typically, I guess our way our voices are designed, women do a better job with soprano and alto. Men do a better job with tenor and bass, but doesn't have to stay that way. There's not a book, chapter, and verse that says you can't do that.
Yeah, because Ashton actually scolded me because I sing the part that he sings. Typically, it started out because he couldn't keep up what, and I'd nudge him when he was supposed to do it.
It's your fault.
But my voice,
I make her voice deep.
but when I sing, I think my voice is typically deeper than most women. So it's like and so Ashton scolded me like, "You're not supposed to sing that part," and I'm like, "But I can't get up. I don't sound good up that high." So.
She's alto, right?
So that would be, you'd probably be a good alto.
Okay.
You'd probably have a good alto voice.
So is it okay to sing when just?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I've heard Rick say, "Okay, the women sing this." I'm like, I don't sing those women parts.
Yeah, well, that's a general rule.
So it's okay to still sing with the men because I'm not
Yes,
trying to
yes. No,
cross any
there's
barriers
no,
here or
no,
nothing, but that's just what I sing.
Yeah, there's no biblical barrier that you're
Okay,
no
just making
biblical
sure.
rule
Well,
that
I
you're
just didn't
violating.
want, Rick to smack my hand later, like, I told you to sing women's. But I'm not comfortable, so that's okay to sing
Right.
that deep.
Well, it means that your voice range is
So I
probably
identify as a what? An alto? Is that what you said? So I identify as an alto.
Yeah. So that would be this. So that would be these notes right here, right?
Okay. Well, still may not be good, but it's pretty bad.
So for this one, let's see. So, son of my soul, thou alto part.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that smoker's line. Apparently.
Jake, go ahead.
Alright, so how many are there, and what if I sing different things with different songs?
How many are there? What?
The tenor and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Those four parts, right?
There's
So-
just four.
Typically four. Now, some songs you'll see the songwriter adds in a third note at the bottom or a third note at the top, and that tells you can sing a different note there if you want to. Some women go higher and stay lower. Same with the tenor and bass part of it.
And then you got people like Rick who sing about 3 or 4 different.
Yeah.
In one song.
Yeah.
It confuses me. I can follow Drew really well. Like Drew just like, okay, I can follow Drew well. He never lets us down. He'll like, shift on me.
Hey,
You don't
good,
change
David.
directions on me.
Yes, so
He's not even here.
You got 4 lines on the top and you got 4 lines on the bottom for the same.
5 lines. 5 lines on top, 5 lines on the bottom.
No, Rick's a
Okay,
great
so
singer.
what's the difference between those lines? Which one do you?
So that whole set is actually one continuous set going out to the top. So you can think of that middle spot
Oh, so
as
they just
another
chose
line.
to stick the words in between.
Yes.
Right.
You could,
Yeah.
So like you start at like going from the top to the bottom, you are still going down. You're singing the same notes, but since the bass and the tenor generally are like
So it's
an
really
octave
10
lower.
lines then. So you could put them all up above those words or below those
We
words.
see. You see this one right here that has a line through it. This note right here.
Yeah.
That's what's called a middle C. And if the words weren't here, that note is basically right here. in the
Savior,
middle.
Ah.
the quarter note and Savior on the tenor. That sol for the tenor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That same
That's the,
one.
that's the
That-
same note.
That note and that note are the same notes. Yeah.
When I said what I said, it's not when Rick's leading, it's when he's sitting behind the singing.
Well, I did it too. I mean, I'll sing some songs. I'll do the tenor line. Okay, that's too high for me or too low, so I'm switching to a different part. So,
I came from a very amateur songwriter, when I started doing that, maybe I don't know what to do with it. I lose track of where I'm supposed to be, because I don't know enough to overcome, like you saying, and Claude used to be really good, I could follow him.
That was
I started
scary.
singing one of those higher notes, and remember who it is, I started singing like higher note also, maybe Rick.
I think Rick and I are tenors.
I just get confused and don't know where I'm supposed to be. Because I started off, Lord tells me I know people on to start off. I know it, but apparently that's not really how some of the songs are supposed to be.
Yeah. And we'll talk about that, but like in this song, in this instance, the key of the song is the F. It starts on the F. So if you blow an F on your pitch pipe, that's the starting note. Now some of them aren't set up that way. Some are different. I wanted to go with the most basic to start with, and this song seems to be one of the easier ones to see this in. We'll talk more about that as we go along in our singing classes. I don't want to overwhelm you the first day. Other thing I want to notice is how many the measures themselves. So if you see this line right here, and this line right here, hang on, Noah,
Oh, he has a.
and this line right there, hang on, Noah. Those tell you the end of the measure. So you can imagine an imaginary line here, an imaginary line there. And what that tells you is how the song is, tempo of the song, how the song is played. So this register here, you see this 3/4. This tells you that you're thinking about the beats in a song, right? So if someone's snapping along to a song, or you're tapping to a song, you're usually tapping to the beat of the song. And that's telling you that in this song, there are 3 beats in a measure. So if it was snapping along, that'd be 3 times I would snap. And it tells me the 4 that the quarter note gets the beat. And so these notes with the stem, the black notes with the stem here, like this, those are quarter notes. And so if you've got 3 quarter notes in a measure, that's all the beats in the measure. So son of mine, and that's how easy that is on there. These right here, that have a line with a stem, sometimes they have a stem, but is a half note. So it gets 2 beats. And then down here you have a half note with a little dot, and it's a half note with a dot, which means it gets itself plus half of itself. So it's 2 divided by 1, you get 3. So like 2 notes for the half note, it gets 2 beats. And then you got a little dot here, so you add 1 to get 3. I said it wrong. It gets,
Y'all know Aaron doesn't math.
I don't math well.
I did.
But when you have a dot says that it gets an extra half of what it has.
Okay, so
Makes
it's
sense.
not-
So when you have a half note has 2 beats. But what's half of 2? 1. So you add another beat, and that gets 3. So it has all 3 of the beats.
Why'd they put math in music?
Hey,
It's like putting numbers in math.
Well-
Like not the letters in math.
music is very much math.
Okay, so sing it like what you're saying with the beats.
All right, so it would be, son of my soul, thou Savior dear. Right, so it gets all 3 of the beats.
Okay.
So I would hold it out. 1, dear.
Okay, now I see what you're doing.
What instead of the song leader standing up and snapping, we use our hands, and so and Drew will say more about this too. So imagine, if you will, there's a table right here, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to beat the song. So instead of just snapping, I'm going to say, for this instance, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and then when I go back down the table again, that's the next measure. So it would be, son of my soul, thou Savior dear. And then that gets all 3 of those.
Oh, now I got you. I'm actually understood that. I understood that. I got that. Thank you. I got that. Like now right there. Yeah. Yeah. Because I've seen some people. I tried to follow that, but then you got some people that they're just up there just doing this, and I'm just like, am I supposed to go up with that or down with it? Because that's what I thought it was. You go up with your voice, down with your voice.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the voice, it has everything to do with the beat. Right? So when you see me go down, that's the start of the next measure. So, son, thou, save, dear, we'll all get that down beat. So son of, I did it wrong, sorry. Son, soul, save, dear. Son of my soul, thou Savior dear. And then when I go down again, then it's it, night, thou, near. It is not night if thou be near. That's what the song leader is doing typically. Sometimes,
With voices. I thought that you were directing our voice.
Elementary school teachers do that. They do
yeah.
Okay, so that's where I'm getting that from. Okay, so it's, you were at one point directing our
Yeah.
voices.
And some choir directors do that too. And at singing school, they taught us to do the whole hand motions for yeah, it blew my mind. Yes, Noah.
So do you see the thing above night? You know how one, like on the top of it goes there, and the bottom it goes there. What does that mean? Like it goes there and there.
Yeah, that's what upside down, the up
Oh, this line?
each other parentheses.
That's telling me that and instead of, I'm just.
What line are you talking about?
Is that line you're talking about?
What line? I can't see
Yeah,
it.
you're not
That one?
listening.
Yeah, but it's backward. But it's down, like
Above the word.
Above
Down.
and down, overnight.
down
Overnight.
and
Oh, this one right here?
yeah, that one.
And the
And,
one
and
underneath
the one below.
Yeah.
There you go.
Those.
So those are just telling you to basically you're gonna make the sound of your voice go down without using syllables. So instead of going night, or night, night. You can't do that because it's one syllable. Night. So you're going night. It is not night if thou art be near. What it's saying is you've got one syllable, night, but you're singing two notes.
So you gotta go
Good
down
question,
and
Noah.
up.
Good
Go down
question.
and up.
So your voice changes, but you're still singing the same note.
Okay, so the notes over thou right there, they tell you to go up because it's the, I can see they're different than nine. I don't know what they mean, but I know they're higher
On this one,
on that little chart thing.
on this right here,
Yes.
yeah, the same thing as night. Same thing that you're doing. That you're singing this one syllable word, but you're singing two notes.
So with that one, do you go like thou? Or-
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Or this one's going down. Because you notice the notes are going down. See?
Right. Yeah, that's what I
Right.
said.
So it was,
Okay.
it is not night if. Or I'm saying it wrong. It is not night if thou be near.
Okay. I got you.
Is there some place that has the master list of all the different note symbols there that?
That is going to 100% be on his slides.
Yeah, I have. I think I have it on here. Let's see. Or is this what you're? Oh, sorry. I hit the wrong button. Is this what you're asking? Let me just go away. This list here has, right, the key that the songs are in, the beat pattern. Like I said, this song we just did was a 3-beat pattern, has 3 beats. So this shows you the starting pitch, mi, sol, do. Typically they're do, mi, so are the ones that we start with. The starting beat and the time. Is that what you're asking for?
No, I'm just asking, like a note, a black note with a line, what does that mean?
Oh,
You know, then you talk about that smiley face, frown face.
Dictionary.
What
Yeah.
does that mean? Then some notes will have a dot beside it, what does that mean?
okay. Yeah. I'll subject you to some more writing here. So in music, you'll have a whole note, right? Say this is going to be 4/4 time. So say we're talking about a measure with 4 notes, 4 beats, which is the typical one. So this measure, a whole note, just a big old. My band director called those goose eggs. The big old goose eggs. It gets 4 beats, right? It's all 4 beats in a measure. And then you have notes that are half notes. So they're a goose egg with a line on it. And the line may be going down and the line may be going up. Just depends on where it's at in the register. And that gets 2 beats. So in order to have all 4 beats, that measure would have to have 2 of these, right? In order to get 4. And then you have colored in notes. And the lines could be either going this way or the lines could be going that way. And those are all quarter notes, and they each get 1 beat each. So, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, 4. And then it goes further from there, and then you can have line with it, and then have a little flag on it, and or you have 2 together with a line. They'll do it this way. Sorry. Or they may look this way. And those are 1/8 notes. And so 1/8 notes is like math. You're dividing it again. So, an 1/8 note, when you have 2 1/8 notes, that equals 1 beat. 2 1/8 note equals 1 beat. So then I'm going to have that could equal 4. So each of these is, think of it as, we have the 1/8 notes here. And then it goes further, and then when you have 2 arms, then it's a 16th note, and then it has 3 arms, the 32nd note, which we don't get into. I think very few songs have 16th notes in them, but there's a good number of songs that have 8 notes in them. I'll have to see if I can find a song with one and show you.
This is not
Uh-huh.
encouraging me to sing loud at all. I'm not singing loud.
Hey, go ahead, Andrew.
Since you're on that screen,
Inspired to do.
this song Hosanna, it has some notes that weren't in the other one you had up.
Oh, great. Let's look at it. All right, so here we are. We're back with Do. All right, so the key is in G. So if I hit a G, Do, that's the first note. Hosanna. It starts with the note with the flag, so that's an 8th note. So if I'm beating this, a whole measure would look like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and then if I'm going back up to the 4, that's where Hosanna starts. So it'll be 2, 3, Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest. 4, and then go on to the next one. So this gets the H-O part of Hosanna gets sort of the half of that beat, just a half of that beat.
So what is it, maybe really convoluting everything here, but with the, you said the little goose egg, the line that went up, what's the difference between it going up versus going down?
Just where it is on the measure, or on the staff.
So it doesn't really,
Yeah,
with our voices?
right. It's when, let me get this out of the way. When, I mean, imagine if it would, like for this stick right here,
Uh-huh.
if it was up, you wouldn't be able to see it because it would sort of be in the way. See, if I stuck it up here,
So it doesn't mean anything, the big,
no, it's just where it is on the register.
just so you'd be able to read it.
Right. And it's just there for where it's comfortable to read and see it.
Okay.
I think he was talking about the rests.
The rests? Oh, these rests?
Is that what you were talking about?
It's the second, it's, the next slide over
Okay.
Oh, okay.
is the main one I was curious about.
All right. Let me go there.
Oh, it doesn't have it on, in the songbook, it has it, it doesn't have it on there.
What's it look like in the songbook?
It has, right where, go to the next slide, I think it might be the next one. Nope, it doesn't have it there either.
Let me look at the songbook and see.
What number is it?
It's in the blue book, number 7. Oh, it's got like a thick line next to the skinny line,
You got 1 and 2.
a colon,
Oh, yeah. That's in written music.
some other stuff.
Yeah. What that means is that you're gonna when you get to the Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest. That just means all right. At this point, you go back and sing the next line. Or go back and sing it again. So it's repeated. So you go Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest. Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest. And that number 2 part is that's what you sing the second time you get around to it. So we do. It does that in the sheet music. It doesn't do it on here because when they put together the PowerPoint, they didn't need to do that because they're just going to write it all out for you. But it just saves the songwriter time than having to write it out all the way out because it's all the same. Because it gets repeated. You know, Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest. Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest. It's the same thing over twice.
If you look in the book, right above, right here, right above name, there's like a little triangle, and then like whatever shape that top one is.
It's like a diamond on top of it.
Yeah. It's got, you can just see the outline parts of it, not the actual clear.
On name?
Is that their whole notes?
Are you talking about the whole notes right there? There you're talking about? Let me see.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, those are whole notes. Yeah, so that they get held out all the way through there. They get all 4 beats.
Slides, I'm sure.
Do we have enough? If not, we can share.
Right, guys, look at what share. RJ's book.
Oh, good, good.
This is.
What is it, Michael?
So I wonder, there's 3 of them, and I'm trying to figure out which one, but one of them is how many of those lines, remember that saying you showed us that down in those little black dots in the lines you showed us? How many could they be?
As many as the songwriter wants to put in.
So like a line from the ceiling to the
Yeah,
earth?
that'd be really fast. So I mentioned this, the rests here. These little markings right here and right here is just a place to rest. So just for you singing, just know after I say Hosanna, then I'm going to be quiet for a beat and then sing Hosanna again. So Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest. Instead of Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest.
How much time does that one get?
This was an 8th note rest, right? Let's see.
I didn't,
2, 3. Yeah, that's an 8th note rest. So it's very quick.
okay.
So do 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Hosanna, Hosanna, Hosanna in the highest. And then
On the very last verse, before it goes to the second verse, in the songbook, you can see like the lines you said that either you go high or you go low. There's 3 of them in the songbook.
oh yeah, where they give you the option.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. I don't know if it's in here or not.
Oh, it is.
Right, it is. So this is one of those instances where the songwriter said, well, if you're brave enough, bass, and you want to go down to the basement, you can. And I won't go to the basement. My voice won't do it. But some songs do. Brother Dykes, he's got some songs in the songbook. And he typically writes with 6-part harmony in his. So you'll see it. Take number 9. Take number 9 in our songbook is one of them. Let's see.
How great they are.
Is that who? Is that it? One second. Wrong way. Yeah, right here in the chorus, he does that with the soprano and the alto. He gives three notes there for you to choose from. Typically, that's the alto that's dividing up those notes. Mm-hmm.
You don't breathe in between commas and periods and that.
Yeah, typically, right. Some songwriters don't put those in though. I mean, we have to find the place to breathe. But yeah, typically the rest of you on breathe. So let me ask you this: why are these have 2 stems? You see that? What's that?
Because the tenor and the bass are together.
Yep, tenor and bass are singing together. Right? You got 1 note on that line, and so all the tenors and all the basses are singing the exact same notes. And so he indicated that by putting the stems on both. showing it. You only see that in like 4-part harmony music. Someone and doing that to show that.
Yeah, I've never known, like I've always gotten confused on where certain people sing certain parts. I never knew like where the tenor, the bass, and all that was. But I mean, just learning that today helps out a whole lot to know when it's your time to sing. Like right here, we can tell, okay, well, you know, the first there, the God would be my side, you know, would be my turn, you know, just because where the symbols are. So I mean, that helps out just there.
I just follow Drew. When I sing, singing is when I sing.
When I'm leaving?
When you're singing, period, in the pews.
Well, if I'm singing down here, more often than not, I'm singing bass. So in this case, I would be, there is a God.
That's what I sing.
She sings that to keep me straight. So yeah.
Okay.
That's when I know.
We're playing telephone here.
Go ahead, Michael.
So now when I sing, I do sometimes that I go there the God, then jump up.
Yeah, you can do that. In some places, I've led singing where there was no bass parts, and so I was going, there is a God, He is alive, He is alive. So we're going to do that. I really hope I didn't overwhelm you, but I'm just trying to show the basics of why those notes are there, and the whole point of having those notes there is to give us the idea of what the melody is to sound like, what the songwriter put together and said, this is how the song sounds. And those notes and knowing how to read music helps us do that. I'll tell you, I struggle with the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do part. I know songwriters who can sit right here and go, do, re, mi, fa, and be able to just sing it that way. I can't do it, because I see the notes. I see, D flat, E flat, F, A flat, G. That's what I see when I'm singing the songs. So I have to be careful and concentrate on the words because I see the notes more. But that comes from taking piano lessons in 3rd grade. So, we have to strike the right kind of balance between the song and getting the pitches and the melodies just right, but also concentrate on the words. Because I have sung songs before where I have been so invested in the melody that I forgot what it is I'm singing about. And we can't do that. That's not admonishing one another, instructing each other.
So we're either really gonna sound a lot better come Wednesday, or we're gonna sound so much worse. Everybody's gonna be
Well,
all over the place.
well,
We're all gonna be.
Rome wasn't built in a day, right? And so
It's in ruins though.
yes, it is. And this will take time, and we'll keep coming back to these basics. And I know Rick's got a really good presentation he put together to show these basics, and I didn't want to step over his presentation.
Oh, I can't wait.
So I know I really want to encourage him to do his part with that the next time.
Well, look, I'm leaving singing Wednesday, so y'all just have at it. I'll take the blame. Y'all just do.
This time we're going to let Drew get us going with these fundamentals here. So what's the first song?
265.
Just don't live stream Wednesday service. We'll be all right.
So this is the test. Was this
Pop quiz.
gonna be a test? Just follow Drew.
Hey, Drew.
What's up?
I think a good song to look at is 10,000 Angels is also a good one. 10,000 Angels is
Certainly is.
it looking at it in the songbook. I never really looked at it before. I just know the song by heart, but you look at the notes and stuff, and there's a lot.
Yeah, so let's do that one next. What's the song number?
580.
Can you go ahead and put that one on there? So this one is, what Rick asked me and Aaron to do was Rick was going to do songs in the key of Do, or in the key of Do, I don't know how to pronounce or say that. and then I would be going with songs that start off on me, and then Aaron would be doing songs that start off on soul. So this is the fundamental one that I chose for the key of me. There's a little bit of a clarification, or a little bit more advanced insight for this. When we blow, as a song leader, blow that top left note up there, that sees, you see that A flat? If I blow that, that's where the song, or that's where the do note is. And then everyone goes off of that note. So for the songs that Aaron was just showing you, where it starts on do, then that's going to be your starting note. However, other parts don't necessarily start on that note either. And Faith of Our Fathers is one of those songs where the melody even, the soprano, the leader, doesn't start on the do. It starts on me. It's got that little diamond on that sheet that I gave you. So then I would blow the bass note and then go up or down accordingly. In most me cases, I'm going up. So I'll go, oh, me, and that's where you start as the soprano. Now, your bass and your tenor over there, they're starting on do. So if I'm bass over here, oh, faith of our fathers living still, and then the alto starts on the so, which you're going even lower. And that's what a lot of, I'm sure Rick's basics are going to include that do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And then if I'm sure he's going to, or I'll recommend him to kind of get us to start doing kind of scales going up and down to help get that in our minds. One other thing, Aaron brought this up, and it's a key point. Whenever you see a song leader doing this, your hand symbols, that line, the next note is the down. So when I'm going up here, I'm doing this. Faith of Our Fathers is one of those songs where I start the song like this, bam. Faith of our fathers living still. And again, that last one is the half note dotted, so it's 1, 2, 3. Just all the stuff that Aaron has already said. When I am doing the song leading, you'll notice that I generally will do like an intake breath before I start the song, and then do the kind of the third note coming up to let everybody know that we're about to start, and then bam, start. And then another song that I have that I don't know if we're going to get to is one that doesn't start necessarily on that down piece, but that might be a next meeting thing. So Faith of Our Fathers, I want to go ahead and sing just the first verse, and then we'll move on to 10,000 Angels. Really try to pay attention, because most of these notes, if you look through it, if you have your books open, are generally going to be the solid notes that don't have any flags. So it's going to be your quarter notes. So when I'm 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, each of the words that you're speaking that have that is going to be faith of our fathers. So I like this one as kind of like an introductory for reading what the song leader is telling you. Holy faith of our fathers living still, in spite of dungeon, fire, and sword. Oh, how our hearts beat high with joy. very large to try to help out with that. And there's generally 3 different hand motions that will go through a song leader's, either your 1, 2, 1, 2, or what I was just doing there, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 4, which is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All of them are going to start your down at the beginning of the measure. That's the baseline that you need to know for keeping up time. And if you see the song leader going a little bit faster in a certain spot or slow it down, that means he's trying to slow it down or speed it up. Just to keep that in your minds for future purposes.
You got that, Robert? We'll see some hand movements
Again, the goal of this is not to, obviously the goal of this is to admonish and teach one another. It's not to sing beautifully. This is just kind of helping to add on to that because it does benefit. All right, 10,000 angels. What specifically were you referring to? Or just the whole song?
Kind of. I've heard this song sung at different speeds, and I've tried reading it myself, and I just don't know. I didn't know how to read any of the music itself. And some people will drag it out, get it done as fast as possible, drag it out, and some people will wait till near the end of the song, then start slowing it down, and then pick it back up, and then they'll start dragging out specific parts.
So that is more of a leader's discretion type thing. Sometimes song leaders will, like I was just saying, speed it up or slow it down at certain points, just because the song leader believes that that is more of a point of interest or emphasis. That you really want to slow down and keep, make it to where everybody is really reading the words and understanding it, or put more emphasis on it. Per the actual notes, sometimes that's not the case. Like 10,000 Angels is actually a pretty good one now that I think about it, because once you go through, you start out and it says at the top there, it says slowly. In my book over here, it says slowly with purpose, right? So you're going to be going slow, and that MP is something else that we'll get into later, I'm sure, is a term for singing softly. So you go, they bound the hands of Jesus, but then when you get to the chorus, go ahead and skip to the chorus, Aaron.
Oh, sorry.
You see that F is something where it is the song, or it's a way to say louder, right? And then you see faster. So then you go from they bound the hands of Jesus, slow and quiet, to he could have called, very fast and very loud. But then at the absolute end of this song, I will at least go, but he died alone, kind of returning back to that quiet and soft and slow, kind of like because he died alone for you and me, because that's the emphasis of the song, right?
Right above, but it says, I can't read it from this far away, but
it says raw, and I don't remember what it actually
It's
means.
Latin, I can't remember what it means.
I don't remember it. It is some I don't know.
But it means though to go back to the slow. Like it means to go back because you
See,
were,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you were slowly here, and then you fast and then loud, and then that means to go. You're reverting back to the other way that you were doing it.
So it actually does say it. It's not a leader's discretion, although that does happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Talk about the bird's eye too.
Yes. For the cases of these songs, that little dot that has the semicircle above it, I will do as the leader what I do, kind of use to get that across. It's a hold, if you will, for the leader's discretion. I will do this as like a hold and then release and then start again.
Raw means indicates gradual slowing of the tempo.
Oh, okay.
There.
Gradual slowing.
I guess it
Interesting.
goes with like, but he died alone.
Yeah.
That's where it's slow, I guess it's.
Yeah, and that's what that hold is, again, there from the songwriter, because that's obviously something that you really want to emphasize. You want to hold that alone. You don't have to for very long. Per the actual note that's under there, it's just an eighth note, so it's a very quick, as opposed to like it goes from a half note to an eighth note, so you're already holding it for long, and then you can go for longer if you want to.
So like if you are in a car and you press the gas pedal and then when it says roll, you hit the brakes.
Yes, except more you slowly press the brakes.
Once they start driving again.
Too soon. Too soon.
Can you talk about your turn?
So go back to the beginning of the song. You'll note that, well, actually, this is interesting. For people that have the books out, that double eighth note it just has the parentheses with 2 eighth notes attached to it. The bar means the same thing. I left to go get my book when you were out. I don't know if you went over that. But those are just 2 eighth notes combined together. So you'll know that from they up until Jesus, that's all eighth notes. So they are all going to be the exact same time. And then once you get to the last part of Jesus, it's a quarter note, so it's one that you hold. And we know that because we kind of inherently know the melody. You just don't understand what the note means. So you'll see, they bound the hands of Jesus, and you're holding sauce in the garden, and then in the they have the 2 flags on them, which indicates a 16th note, so those 2 are even faster than what you were singing. So, in the garden where he prayed. Does that kind of make sense? If you have the more flags on it, it makes it to where you're going faster versus the slower, so you can use where you were going from the bass line and either go faster or slower based on that. Make sense? I don't want to try to overwhelm everybody on this, because this is all stuff that Rick definitely has in his slides to go over. So do we want to sing a verse of this before going on to the next one?
Sure.
Hey, Drew.
Yep.
When you're in the book on here, it has like all 4 stanzas together. So does that mean that all 4 lines are all going to have the same tempo throughout? Okay.
So you can imagine it like this. If you have just a line going from the left, top left, going to the right, it's literally the line is just going at the same rate all the way across. And once that line hits the note, each part sings that note.
Okay.
Right?
And it's going to be the same for all 4 lines. And so, like, however I start with, they bound the hands the same way I'm going to do when they nail in the 3rd line.
The tempo?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
The speed at which you're singing will always, not always, it will be the same as everyone else, unless if the song indicates that you are not to sing at a certain point. So there's some songs, I don't know whether or not, this is one that has it. It does not have it. There's some songs where you have a rest where for the bass, where the sopranos are singing, like Hosanna. Like the Hosanna, the bass starts and then the soprano comes in. The rests, technically, the soprano and the alto are singing at the same time. Their part is just quiet. It's just rest. And that's where it kind of gets into the notes having different timings, your eighth notes versus your quarter notes and stuff like that. Sometimes the soprano will have a quarter note they're holding, while me as the bass am going do do do. And Rick actually had a song exactly like that this morning that I cannot remember off the top of my head. In the chorus where I was singing while the soprano or the melody is holding a note. But yes, to answer your question. anything else before we start with this one? And then I've got one more after, just to kind of close up what I was wanting to do. Okay. 10,000 Angels. This is one that starts on Do. You see up there. Number one way to see it is you got your E flat key marker in the top left, and then you have a 4, and then just D-O, Do. But also the topmost shape note is where your melody is. The soprano will start there, and that one is that equilateral triangle, which is what's on your sheets, and that's what the Do is. So when I blow this, Do, we're gonna start on Do. They bound the hands of Jesus in the garden where he prayed. They led him through the streets in shame. They spat upon the Savior, so pure and free from sin. They said, crucify him, peace to blame. He could have called 10,000 angels to destroy the world and set him free. He could have called 10,000 angels, but he died alone for you and me. Okay. Let's see here. 319, only a step. This is the one that I picked out to kind of help out with. This is a song where the leader is not going to be starting on the downbeat. You'll notice that at the beginning, hear the sweet. Those are not going to, those only amount to one note, if you will, when normally this song is in 3, as you can tell by the top left again. So what the beat pattern would look like for this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But if you try to start here on the down, what's going to happen is hear the sweet voice, and oh no, I'm over here going for voice. So what you have to do for some songs like this, and it's just, you have to know it and learn it to indicate it, is I'm going to be going up for the here. So I'll go, hear the sweet voice, because voice is where you start, or voice is where the downbeat is. You see a lot of confusion, because it is confusing.
I've never thought about it before, but I see what you're saying. How do you beat 9/8 time?
9/8 I don't beat.
Too fast.
So RJ Stevens has a book that on this type of stuff, and he has there's beat patterns on it, and it was like 9/8. You're doing the same thing as your 3/4, but it's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, and it's just nothing that anybody out here will ever see, right? Me doing this, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, as I'm doing this, no one's going to see that, and it's going to cause confusion. So I just always have just done, again, when I'm doing down, that's the start of the measure. Huh?
I see somebody doing that, I think they got
It's basically converting, right? It's converting it to 3/4 time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, this is another one that has majority the same note. It's majority 8th note. So it's not going to be bam, bams, like I'm not going, hear this voice of Jesus. It's going to have multiple different 8th notes per beat. We'll do a verse of this, and then That's all that I really wanted to go over
Yeah.
for this. You'll know that the tenor over here is the circle, that's the sol. So if Aaron's singing tenor, they go do, mi, sol to start out. But for the melody, we're going to start on B. Do, mi. Hear the sweet voice of Jesus say, come unto me, I am the way. Hearken the loving call, obey. Come, for he loves you so. Only a step, only a step. Come, for he bled for you and died. He's the same loving Savior yet, Jesus the crucified. Are there any other questions that we can kind of help out with to start out this series? Any like basics or advanced or anything that we've kind of said that kind of doesn't make any sense that we can clarify before we? All right, I give it back to Aaron. Right.
Good job, appreciate it.
Really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, well, we'll stop there and let the brain bleeding in